Hey guys, Desktop Philosophy here with another Agar video. And today I'm going to be talking about politics. And yeah, you may say that's not philosophy, but I mean, it is kind of like the only thing that philosophy really applies very well to. And no, that's not true, law, but it is an application of philosophy in the real world. So, we're going to talk about how screwed up the modern political system is. Now, there's an upcoming election in the United States, obviously, and we are all concerned with who's the best candidate and who's going to do the right thing for America. And that's what we all think we're concerned with, isn't it? But I don't see that that is exactly what is happening, and I don't see that that's how our political system works. I mean, first of all, let's go to some basic points of government. What are the purposes of government in its most basic form, right? The purposes of government are to protect the individual rights of its citizens, right? Now, you may say, well, I mean, doesn't it do more things than that? No, not really. So the the point of a government is, well, let's take a step back here. A government is, fuck, damn it. Sorry, man. A government is set up to um, intervene when two citizens of a country have some sort of conflict. Now, we are all born with our our rights. We are all born with the right to do as we please. We have the physical capability. No one else is has any real ability to allow us to do what we do, because we can do whatever we want. If I want to go kill someone, I'm born with that right. Now, what the government comes in is to protect the right of the person I just killed, right? So they have the right to live. I have the right to live. They have the right to live. I have the right to kill them, but the government has the job of preventing me from killing them or imposing a consequence on me killing them. So, that is where the government's job is. That is the sole purpose of the government's job, is to protect the individual rights of its citizens against each other, right? Or, against other citizens removing those rights on their own soil. Now, okay, so that's the basic job of the political candidates. They are to protect your rights. Now, you may believe that your rights are differently, but everyone who supports a political candidate supports them because they believe that that candidate is best going to um, support their rights, right? So, if Trump is speaking and he's speaking, to big business owners, and he's saying things that they agree with, it's because that Trump is protecting the rights of the big business owners. And if Bernie Sanders is speaking to the lower class, then it is the lower class believes that he will best protect their specific individual rights, right? So that's how we should be choosing our political candidates. Now, what the problem has become in the system is that politics has gotten very academic, right? So political candidates um, speak about things that they're concerned with, but they speak in a manner that most people don't understand. They speak very academically, and they speak about things that not the majority of the public don't have enough of a full understanding to um, truly appreciate and make a good determination based on their debates, or their public statements. And so that is a big problem with modern politics. And what has arisen to counter that is Donald Trump. And Donald Trump is not a politician. He's not. He's a businessman, and he speaks to the public. He speaks to the masses. He speaks in a way they understand. There's a very good video, and I will try to remember to put a link in the description, done by another YouTuber about how Donald Trump answers questions. He answers questions to sell something. He answers questions to sell himself and his beliefs as a president. And like it is stated in that video, um, eh, the best businessman can sell something without knowing a damn thing about it. And he can sell something whether it's, a beneficial um, product to your life or not. He will sell it to you if he's a good enough businessman. And that should concern people, but it doesn't because they understand what he's saying. And even if they don't agree with 100% of the things he says, they still understand him. And so that makes them less scared of him than they are of other political candidates that they don't understand as well, because what he says is very clear because it's very simple. All right, so that's Donald Trump. Now I'm gonna do Hillary and Bernie. Let's go with Hillary. Now, what Hillary does is okay. So also I forgot to. I gotta back up a little bit here. People like to have their expectations fulfilled. That's just a fact that exists. People that you like to have your expectations fulfilled. You will receive the most benefit out of something if your exact expectations are fulfilled and what you expect to happen happens. So if you expect Donald Trump to say, you know, racist crap, or it doesn't even have to be racist, but if you expect him to say, stuff that's very simple and easy to understand, and he does, then you like that. If you expect Hillary Clinton to say things that are, feminist, then she will, and you will be satisfied knowing that your expectations were fulfilled. So that's just a point that we need to get out there before I continued with Hillary. So Hillary is a candidate who is a woman, obviously. Everybody knows that. Now, does she personally believe like most of the things that she says or fights for? Probably not necessarily, and I believe that's true of most candidates. They say what they think will make them more popular. They say what they think people expect them to say, just like I was talking about earlier. They are there to fulfill people's expectations. Hillary is a woman, so people expect her to say feminist stuff, so she does, and they like it. Now, are the social policies she wishes to enact going to be beneficial for the country? That is a completely other matter, and it kind of doesn't even matter because she again, she is just fulfilling people's expectations in order to get into office, and that's what all of them are doing. Trump is selling himself. Trump is selling Trump, and he's doing that so he can get into office. And I don't think anyone really has a great understanding of what any of the political candidates, true goals or agendas are. They just say what they think will get them elected. And all right, on to Bernie with that note. Bernie is a very intelligent man. He's a good speaker. He spoke at my university a few weeks ago, and I attended. And I've read a little bit of the stuff that he's put out there, and it was confirmed that he is a good speaker. He is a very intelligent man, and that is where I find the problem because he speaks about things that I know he knows as an intelligent person will not be beneficial to this country. A few examples of those are the minimum wage. Now, it sounds great to have a high minimum wage because everybody gets paid more, right? Except for the people that don't have jobs after the minimum wage is increased. Because it is basic labor economics that if you increase the price of something, in this case, the price of a worker for a business, the price that the business has to pay for the worker, then what that is going to do is that it's going to restrict the number of workers that that business can hire. And so you are going to lose jobs if you increase a minimum wage. If the company increases what they have to pay their workers, then they have to hire less workers because they're already, basic economics dictates that they're already operating at the most efficient level, and in order to keep operating at that level, they would have to hire less workers. Um, okay, so he has to have a basic understanding of economics in such a way that he knows that will cripple the economy. Well, it won't help the economy. Now, what he does do is he gets people to support him because he says what they want him to hear, and he is the biggest guilty member of this uh, group in that manner. He is saying only things that will get him the popular vote of angsty teenagers. That is what he's doing, and it's kind of sad, because I'd like to believe that he wants to legalize marijuana and take money back from the rich that they've stolen, but he's just saying things that will get teenagers angry and revolutionary and to support him, and everybody wants to have something to fight for. They want to have something to believe in and revolt against. It's a natural angsty tendency of human beings, and especially teenagers and the young population, which is his target uh, uh, vote, which I think is kind of ironic because he's the oldest candidate. Well, not oldest, but he's the oldest of the popular ones. And it's I don't know. Can you say it's wrong? Because if all of them do it, can you really say it's wrong? But he does it certainly the worst, because I know for a fact he does not agree with the things that he says because he can't as an intelligent person, and and that makes me concerned that he won't actually do any of the things that he says he's going to do when he gets elected, or if he gets elected to office, which with the recent polls and Trump winning, I think 5 states or 4 of the 5 states the other day. Um, that's just not going to happen, and so maybe for better or for worse. But back onto Trump then, since we talked about that, you should be concerned when somebody is trying to sell you something just to sell you something. Trump is selling you something. Trump is selling himself, and he is selling it very well. But you have to be concerned as to why is he selling himself? What is his agenda? I don't think anyone really knows that, because he keeps changing his mind, and I mean, yeah, I mean, you could say, oh, he had these beliefs all along, but he is changing his statements quite a lot, and you have to wonder what is his end goal if he does keep changing his statements, and you have to realize that he's changing his statements just to get more votes, and that means that can't really be what he believes in if he's just saying these things and just doing anything for for a popular vote. What is that going to end up like? And it's a big mess, and people need to start educating themselves better, because I hear too many people making blanket statements about candidates without understanding on both sides, without really understanding what their true goals are, and the thing is, I don't think anyone really knows what their true goals are, and and that's a concern, because if all these candidates are saying whatever it takes to get them elected, which is nothing new, that most candidates have done this in all of history, then we don't actually know what any of them are going to do when they get into office. And I think that should concern you guys. And I just wanted to put this out here. You we don't know what these candidates are going to do when they get into office. None of them. So just be careful. But with that note, I want to make another acknowledgement. So remember how I was saying earlier that you're born with the right to kill someone, and that may sound a little bit screwed up, but you are. You're born with that right, and the government restricts that right to protect someone else's right to live, and that uh, they don't okay, I take that statement back. They don't restrict the right, they impose a consequence. And that's all the government can do, is they can impose a consequence on an action that they deem restricts the right of a specific group of people. But they can't actually restrict that right, because again, we are born as physical entities with um, the right to do anything that we can physically do. And so and so, uh, all the government can do is impose a consequence. So if you disagree with something, the only thing you can do is be not complacent and to um, dang, to just do what you think is right, and that's all you can do as a person. Is think, find your own morality, live by that morality, and uh, and and exist. I'm a fairly existentialist believer. Maybe you'll think that's just because I'm an angsty teenage college student, but you should be the most powerful thing in the world, an individual. But society has grown more powerful, and that is that is a little bit scary because society messes up a lot. And just be informed. That is all I ask. I'm not supporting any candidate because, again, like I stated, we don't know what any of them are going to do. So be informed and do what you think is right.